It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. These are very powerful words that Krishnamurti once used to describe the collective mind and humans' tendency to adjust our way of thinking and our belief systems to fit in with those around us. And it's insinuating that the collective mind itself is sick, that it is suffering from a case of psychosis. And I thought this is a beautiful way to enter into the contemplation of the 61st gene key. This is the 61st codon in our DNA that governs inspiration, this driving force that pulls us out of psychosis towards sanctity, towards our union with God, to become at one with the void that is the source of all creation. And so I truly believe that all 64 gene keys, all 64 codons of our DNA's programming language, they have these shadow frequencies, they have these survival mechanisms to be of service to our humanity, not to punish us. And so therefore I feel it's such a beneficial thing to truly understand how a shadow frequency can in fact help you in your life rather than hinder you. And that can help move towards a shift in internal attitude about our darker sides, where we can begin to embrace the shadow for its gift. Embrace the shadow and respond to it creatively, to stretch ourselves, to grow and to aspire to something greater, rather than see it as the enemy, see the shadow frequency as something to be gotten rid of. And what more challenging word to do this with than psychosis? A word that for me carries a terror, a deep fear in my being when I contemplate it. And I've gone through a very deep existential terror over the last few days that has created a level of anxiety in my body that I've never actually experienced. And thankfully, Richard Rudd's video on dealing with anxiety came at just the right time to really embrace it and let myself know that everything's okay. And when I came out the other side of this, I've come out feeling a deep-rooted inspiration in my being this morning when I woke up. And I wanted to share my contemplation around this. That for me personally, I have just gone through, and it's been a build-up. It wasn't just suddenly, but the last week as we've been going through this 61st gene key contemplation, as it's been working inside me, I've been really witnessing my intellect self-destructing. I've been watching all of the stories that I have created, well, throughout my whole life, but especially over the last 9 years since I became a father. And since I really moved deeply into the spiritual world, I watched all the stories that I've created, all the belief systems and the mechanisms I've put into my mind that have helped me to make sense of the unknown, to deal with this pressure of needing to know why. Why am I here? Why has this happened? What am I supposed to do? And I've seen how many stories I've woven together. And how when times have become challenging and those stories have faltered, and rather than just allowing a stillness to process them, I would use my powerful intellect to create another story that I could weave that story into that would protect it. And then another story. And here I was feeling like I was free from this collective psychosis, this collective disconnection from reality, that I knew reality, I understood what was going on, I was tapped in, I was a spiritual being that had a higher perspective of our reality. And then I realized that I just created myself, my own psychosis, my own disconnection to reality, and created a safe place for myself in these belief systems, and then connected to others who also resonated with those belief systems, so that we could create a space in our own psychosis where we felt safe. And what I began to notice recently is that as these sparks of divine inspiration would enter into me, that they would arise through me into my moment, I would see that they were not able to enter my life because of the collective belief systems that I had joined in on, that I had taken part in creating. My spiritual beliefs, my scientific understandings, all these different things had created a rigidity that did not allow this inspiration to arise and to be played with innocently like a child, but rather, as that spark of inspiration would come up in me, I would feel this intellectual need to analyze it, to justify it, to explain it, to give it these intellectual frameworks as to what it was. And over these last few days, this psychosis that I've experienced has been the falling down, the letting go, the surrendering into the silence between words, this moment that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's been fucking terrifying. Because I'm a master storyteller. I can weave anything and make it sound like it makes sense, that it's true. Someone once said I'd make a great cult leader. It's a terrifying thing to walk with. But then I felt this morning the liberation that when I allowed those contractions of surrender, when I allowed that intensity, that pressure of why to no longer live in my mind, but rather to enter into my being, I was literally lying on my bed in contractions, feeling this energy just being released, and it felt like so much ancient pressure moving through me, like I was birthing something. And it was so scary because I had no idea why. And when I breathed into it and I allowed it, I woke up this morning and no words can explain the feeling that I've walked with today. It's like this childlike innocence, this acceptance of the unknown, the okayness of everything. And I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling the breath of God moving through me. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it breathes into my life, with no attachment to how it comes. And I know that if I follow this inspiration, there it is right there. I know. But I don't. I don't know. And that is divinely beautiful and okay and perfect.